swear, I love these little octolings, man. Ah! Look how cute they are with their little circle phones. There's no joke to this segment, to this little bit I'm doing right now. I just want to point them out. Look at their cute little smiles. Ah! Nintendo, this is like the best thing you've ever done. Well, good morning, good night, or good afternoon, viewers, depending on your time zone. And this is Failboat's YouTube. Welcome, everybody. It's time. Not time for the meme time, but time for just a random stream that's coming out of nowhere. It's been a little bit since I've streamed, in case you guys are unaware of my talking habits on the internet, which I can understand if you're not. I went to too many games, a conference, a convention, a beautiful time, a beautiful place. Met a lot of beautiful people, including J-Moji. I met J-Moji in person. Relax. Like a lot of people. They were really cool. Coming back from it though, I got ooh. I don't think I should have set this up beforehand. I got my Switch signed by Charles Martinet. Hands up in chat if you know who that is. He is the voice of Mario. Like, I got my Nintendo Switch. Oh god, that's complex. I got my Nintendo Switch signed, the back of it, by Charles Martinet, the voice of Super Mario himself. I am so happy that I got that signature. I am popping off at that. But in addition to that, you know, I got my Switch signed by Charles Martinet, just you know, a normal average day. I also perfected my gear. I finalized the Failboat gear look. Here, I'm gonna minimize chat for 1 second here. I'm sorry you have to see your words go away. Check out my gear, baby. The finalized look for my little inkling girl. Gosh, Karina, the freshness levels are on fire. They got the, of course, Cap of Legend, White Sailor outfit, and Pacer AU with the abilities in tow. And man, I'm so satisfied with those abilities. Oh, they're good. Anyway, we're not gonna dwell on my shoes for too long. Although, hey, I'm just saying, if you guys want to dwell on my shoes for a while, I'm sure I can find things to talk about. Oh, I think everyone's doing like drawings of Fishy Fisher too. Everyone participate in that. Try and draw a fish. Try and draw Fishy Fisher. Also, there's new sponsor icons for the beautiful sponsor peoples in chat. It's now my YouTube icon. But like it'll probably change and become different depending on how long you've been sponsored for. This is just like the first stage of many stages on those sponsor icons to get those kick into new freshness levels. Anyway, do you guys ever wish you could just hold on to a post with your neck? It seems incredibly difficult. What even is this thing? I don't understand the Splatoon verse. Let's play Splatoon. So, if you guys are unfamiliar with my current save file, which is pretty much going to be all of you, during the time I was at too many games, I wanted to play more of this game. But, you see, my issue was I couldn't play, you know, I couldn't play any new levels because I'm doing a live playthrough of the game. So, my resolution to that was to beat every single level with every single weapon, of which I currently have unlocked. And as you can see, I beat every single level that I currently have unlocked with every single possible weapon. So, there's no reward apparently for doing this. It's just a waste of my time and frankly my own self-gratification that I desire to give myself. But now, we're on the goal to finding, or at least to beating every every one of the challenge missions. Not sure what I'm getting at here. And finally, I'm able to play new ones. It's been so long since I've been able to play new ones. But, I'm ready to get going. Get ready to get going on it. Okay, what do we got here? One-shot station. Destroy all the crates in one shot. Oh! Well, this one can either be 5 seconds or potentially 5 hours. Alright. Interesting. Is it this simple? Ah! I see. So my guess is I need to be in the dead middle of it. Hold up. Okay, I think I learned from Queen. Hey, wait a minute, I see a GameCube controller in the background. Yo! Look at that! Oh, that's so cool to see. That's whatever's going on over there, the octopus homes. Cool. I forgot that that's like, these are like condos for them. Okay, Here's what's gotta happen. Here's what's gotta happen. Pop that. Okay, you see that? You can actually shoot one extra shot. It's gonna be tough. We're gonna have to get a little bit close. I can only get one. Oh, okay. The issue is the one on the bottom keeps on moving. Let me try shooting that one first. Oh. Oh, well, apparently that was just the way to do it. Cool. Oh, thank you. They gave me the tower. They just straight up gave me the tower. That's the easiest I've ever gotten the tower before in my entire time playing competitive Splatoon. I wish the enemy team would just hand me the tower. That seems extremely useful. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is one of those ones that doesn't have a weapon. Oh, no. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. What do we got? CQ is leaning up at me. I haven't ever seen the one where it's like, I haven't ever seen the CQ one where he's like on all of his like little tendrils. The ones that's memed a lot. I'm hoping to eventually see it. But, anyway. This one seems like it's gonna be extremely tough. Everyone in chat is saying either oh no or I love this one. What is this? Missile Octocopter. Yo, can we get some fail heralds in chat? Or missile copter for sure? Nah, man. Okay, this doesn't seem too bad. I'm expecting this to get violent real fast. Alright. Aha! I now understand what the issue is. At least it's not like if you get skimmed by one, it's not like, ah, well, sorry, you are now completely dead. Alright. This one seems alright. You got a roof over your head. Okay, works for me, works for me. I mean, this one works, so it's working out. It's working out. Nothing too challenging about this one. For eels, can you spot that? Why did someone say for eels? I feel like I don't know. You could just say, oh my goodness. Oh my god, are those game cubes in the background? Oh, Sorry, the game cubes were distracting me. Look, guys, this is the first time I've seen a GameCube anything on the Switch. We now officially have GameCube games on the Switch. And you're telling me I shouldn't be at least a little bit excited about that? I can't believe that worked. I don't understand the issue. I don't understand the problem here. Oh, wait. I just jump over here? Yes. Yes, Captain Cuttlefish, you are correct. I think I understand the conundrum. Hold on. Activate these? Alright. Okay, that doesn't work. Oh, wait, there's a weapon down there. Oh, no, oh, it's the Glugas. Nah, I like the strat I was using before. It's probably more accurate than the Glugas are. I'll be dead honest with you. Fine. Fine. Alright, well, look. I see what the thing is. Man, Daniel, you should have shot the sponge more. Look. I'm one of those pro gamer types. Don't worry. I'll get to it. One step at a time and all that. Oh, no, this is where I die. There we go. One step at a time. I'm one of those pro gamer types. That's something I have said. Here we go. Unleash this. There we go. Okay. Let go of the small box. You're not what did Ian call his Octoling? Brigitte? Brigitte? It's the same issue as the Overwatch hero. Is it Brigitte or Geet? J or G? I don't wanna. It's okay. We don't really need to do this. There we go. Oh, I understand. All it took was 1 second of silent thought before I was like, I get the concept of this level. Ooh, this is about to get weird. Okay. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Why wait? Why wait? Why wait? Stand right in the middle. Stand right in the middle and pray. Do not move. Do not hesitate. There we go. Or is it Bridget? Oh, Bridget. the American way of pronouncing that. But I think actually, you know what? I say that, like, I remember I used to have a friend named Bridget in, like, early middle school. Wow, I haven't even said the word Bridget in that long. That's almost like a nostalgic name of all things. How weird. Okay, well, can you stop? Thank you. Goodbye. We're done. Hey! Melee HD? Melee HD! They have it blank. Nah, dude. Smash Ultimate. Just give me that. Just give me that is all I'm saying. Yay! Ink from above station. That sounds incredibly horrifying in any other context other than Splatoon. In Splatoon, you're like, ah, okay, ink from above. Understood it. It's like a missile thing. And any other thing, it's like, excuse me, why is ink coming from above? Who unleashed, like, did some, like, pen manufacturer, did, well, who's the people that make, like those pens or whatever? Did, like, a Sharpie, like a Sharpie plane, a Sharpie conveying plane just exploded above us. It's just those little things. Bridget, I only know baguette. Is that Bridget's French sister? Let's go. What the heck is that? I don't know. Something tells me it's a squid. Like the one in the game. Oh, wait, it's one of these levels. That only took one flick in near certain death for me to understand. Am I supposed to be getting this? More enemies. Okay. I probably don't need to get this, but it's an optional thing. Oh, I love the backgrounds. They're just so nice. Can you stop? Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Okay. You can go about your day way over there. I really hope I don't end up needing to walk on these. Roll right. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. This one guy is solely responsible for the death of this entire level. And also a little bit on me. Probably a little bit more on me, honestly. Is this free? Whoopsie! Stop. Oh, that was free. That was actually incredibly easy. Breakdance station? More like I literally just had to walk left and right and poorly aim at a small tentacle. Frankly, I feel like I just bullied him, honestly. Alright, there we go. Rock Pop Station. Yeet. Did I just say yeet without actually throwing something? Let me fix that. Yeet! Just like toss my controller across the room. Let's go. Let's do it. Bam. Bump, 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 bump. Dude, pop all the balloons? Sounds like me at a horrible birthday party. This sounds like a horrible birthday party activity. Seems like one of those things that would go incredibly wrong if you have, like a bunch of kids. Does this say, like, 1-up or something? Is this loss? The things to my left and my right. Is there, like, a loss reference in these? I would not put it past Nintendo to squeeze in some more Lost references. I missed one? Oh, no. They're just 3. There we go. That's half of them? Oh, I gotta focus. Good. I don't like that. Oh, no. Oh! What? Stop. It's the most intense I've ever been. No, don't do this to me. Okay. Yo, if that had just flown away, I'd just be like, ah, okay, how about I pop this game out of my Switch and throw it against the ground. Alright. At least we're cleaning these up fairly fast here. Let's save Yellow Line for last. You guys ready for the level? I'm sure you guys all did, like, second. You guys ready for this? Me and Kosi are about to clean this one up real fast, like. Here we go. Ooh! Ah! Don't look into that, Kosi. It'll blind your pure eyes. Let's go. Whip. Such a cute little noise. Alright. This one seems simple enough. Yo, real talk, I've been watching, almost my own death for a second there. I've been watching, Summer Games Done Quick. So I'm gonna try and take some inspiration from them. And, you know, just scream every so often, and more importantly, rush through levels at breakneck speed. Oh! Oh my god! Yo, is that how you have to do it? Yo, wait, is that how you have to do it? Yeah! I really hope that that's not how you have to do it. Is that how you have to do it? No, I don't know. Now I'm curious. Dude, I really hope that's not how you have to do it. No, I don't care. I'm doing it. Let's go. I'm doing it over this one, too. Oh! Of course it was stupid. If it worked, I would have been a god. I got a trick shot on some of these early levels. There we go. There we go. This is like what was meant to be someone's like second level. I gotta try and style on it. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? No, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Oh, there's a timer. Ah, I don't care anymore. I want it. I do care. That was a lie. That was actually a direct lie. Dan, you're on a timer? Fine! Fine! You guys be lame. And punctual. God. Is that a cool kid? Not being late to class? Wow, what a nerd. I don't know why I'm just hazing the chat over this. There's zero purpose in what I'm doing. It's a little complicated. Okay. Wait, okay, I was about to say, do I go back to the beginning? Alright. There we go. What if I just explode? I'm sure these pool noodles would be fairly angry at that. If they had sentient thoughts. I should have held back and tried to get it back onto the moving chocolate bar behind me here. What is things like these guys? Graham crackers. That's what I was thinking of. These guys look a little bit like graham crackers. Don't know why. You know what? Here we are. Our goal is to guard the pole thing. We will not let you past. Using our sharp aim that we refined over years of being in military school for octolings, we will shoot you down upon approach. Stop moving so fast. Anyway. We will not let you through. I used that voice for like the first time this morning when I was with my roommate, and it's been like slowly developing. The voice is just like, here we go. I know it's a voice I've already used before, but like it's increasing in utility. I need to oh, that was another thing. So when I went to meet with Charles Martinet, and by that I mean stood in line for an hour and a half and paid him $35 for ink on my Switch. Oh my god, he put ink on my Switch. Oh my god, he's like a Splatoon character. I just realized that. Huh, neat. Anyway, other than the weird analogies aside, I actually asked him, like, so what are some good tips on voice acting? Because, you know, as you can clearly tell by my multitude of voices, and that's it. I actually do want to, like, I do want to seriously improve my voice acting ability. Just mainly so that way I can provide you guys with more interesting vocabulary other than, now I am Captain Cuttlefish, and Kukui, and the announcer in Metopia, and literally any character who I really just don't want to give a proper voice to. I want to expand outside of just egg beater voice. And so of course, I asked him, Charles Martinet, the voice behind Mario, Waluigi, probably like Daisy, like, you know, the guy does like every voice in the Mario universe. He does probably like the green hills that are in the background. Like, I asked him, you know, like, what are some good tips? And he pointed me to a website. It's called iwantobeavoiceactor.com, if I'm not mistaken. I'm saying that because I want you, delightful people in chat, to be able to benefit from it too. I haven't even looked at the website yet, but I just wanted to point you guys in that direction. If you guys do want to do any voice work or want to improve your voice work at all, I highly recommend going to that website. Just because, you know what? If Charles Martinet is recommending that, then you know what? It must have some validity to it. It must have some nice structure. Test not failed. Test not failed. I was fairly confident I had failed that test, but just like me, somehow getting through social studies, I have managed to skim by. About the hair on my teeth. Alright. I know what you're saying. The expression is actually skin of your teeth. But hey, tell me, am I wrong if I say hair on my teeth? The whole point of the expression is that there's no skin on your teeth. What's going on here? Test not failed. See cucumber. See cucumber on a helpline. Alright. I know I was going the wrong way. I wanted to see what was over there, chat. Okay, I probably just need to go up here and then see in person. I have to go for the parent visit here. This is my kid. They are an 8-ball. Do not judge them or bully them because of that. They are my child. And even though they are a little rambunctious, a little hard to deal with, they are a little bit of a problem child, I still love them. There we go. Parent-teacher meeting between an octopus and an 8-ball. That's definitely a new one, I'll tell you that much. Also, how did I not die? Realizing what has just happened, I probably should have died because of that. There we go. Go. You can't fail me if I die first! See cucumber. You can't fail me if you have no one to fail. Alright, let's try this again. Boop. There we go. Okay. Now we just pray that it doesn't kill us. There we go. Looks like it rolled across the seesaw. Captain Cuttlefish, how can you see this? Do you have a camera outside of my vision? Oh, I thought you guys just followed my vision around. I couldn't see anything. Anyway. What's up, 8-ball station? What you snacking on, 8-ball? Hey, gamers, what you snacking on? It's your boy Fails on the mic. Alright. What do we got? Poppin' Fresh Station. Ride the rails, pop the balloons. See, now I've gone back to, like, the easy levels. It works on me. I mean, I might as well work my way around, slowly but surely. See, cucumber has been squished on the wall. There we go. He did nothing wrong. Test wait, what's happening here? Ride the rails and pop all the balloons. Okay. Seems fairly simple. Although I do recall one like this in the past, frankly. Although this one just may be the easier variant of it. I was gonna say easier, but then frankly my breath was stopped in fear of being unable to complete what I was about to call easy. Yeah, okay, that was a little bit much. Honestly, I brought this up before. Can we talk about how cool Kosi is and all your Octolings at home are? But they're able to ride a rail like this while shooting a gun that has kickback? That was a trap. That's an extremely talented Octarian. Sorry. A lot was happening in short succession. Silent boat. For every other second that I'm silent. For there's no joke. There's no joke. The joke ends there. Woo! All right, let's go. Woo! Okay, I can physically breathe my stomach inside and outwards. Okay, I'm not sure what that statement was. It's morally, I don't breathe with my stomach, I breathe with my lungs, but there was just a lot happening right there. Woo! All right. People are saying in chat, why? Because I already beat the harder variant of that. Admittedly, it wasn't easy. But I had already beaten what I thought was the hardest variant of that. See Cucumber looking like his back has been misaligned. It looks like a Cheeto right now. His back looks like a bean. There we go. Now he's fixed his posture. That never gets old. Never gets old. Oh, can you like push him back up? That's cute. Any last words, punk? Test failed. Let's go. Test failed. Let's go. What do we got? Spin your way to the goal. No problem, Octo expansion. I get what you're cooking. Alright. Failboat made a joke. I forgot about that. I have to be using that. I have to be using that to my. Oh! Didn't expect that, frankly. Heyo, didn't see that coming. I didn't see it coming. You're not wrong. I have to remember to use please laugh to my utility. Because I make a lot of bad jokes and a lot of stupid puns that frankly don't deserve laughter. So if I just artificially tell you guys to laugh, frankly, you know what? That fills the void in my life. Alright. Here we go. Could you... Okay. Why does that one move? Oh, okay. No, I see it. Yeah. I have to do this. There we go. Okay. Now this part makes sense. This part makes sense. I did laugh. I'm sorry. Don't. You don't have to lie to me. It's okay. We're good friends, you know. Me and chat. We're cool. Hey, welcome back, Jonathan Pizza, to the sponsor crew. Uh-oh! What is this? Oh my god. Hold on. Hello. My phone is going off. Oh, well, someone's calling me on Skype. Yo, why you guys call me on Skype? I mean, apparently it works. Ring goes my phone during the stream. I mean, you got me. Oh, here it comes. Why y'all calling me on Skype? No, don't worry. No. Don't worry, computer. I understand. Why y'all calling me on Skype? Is this really what you're hitting me with? It's really what you're hitting me with? I'm not even gonna read your name. That would give you satisfaction, man. I'm gonna hit you with that block. Ba-bam. You're gonna interrupt my stream? Or use Skype. Frankly, anyone on Skype, I'm just gonna block you anyway. I don't care if you're my actual friend and I talk to you daily. If you're trying to communicate with me on Skype, you are probably going to get blocked. Because anyone who uses Skype casually is no friend of mine. Alright. Real talk, yo, can I just out exploding TNT real fast? So, TNT, good old exploding TNT, I'm not sure if you heard of him. Pretty much, that boy, he used Skype to communicate with me. Like, for 1 year after Discord came out. He was the only contact I had. Or he was the only person I ever talked with using Skype. And he used Skype all the time. And I'm like, yo, wanna get Discord one day? And it's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, alright, cool. And then we used Discord. I hate this. I was confirmed for being on that floor. The Minecraft guy. That's about right. It's interesting. Actually, you know what? Can I ask a question for chat? Who knew I worked with exploding TNT? I mean, obviously. Who knew I was in exploding TNT stuff? Because I forgot, like, you know, it really has been a long time since the, shall I call it TNT era? Like, not been a long time. I mean, I'm still technically in the videos. Don't at me. Don't at me. I was like, I desire a puddle to refuel my ink. And then I die to death. Stop. Good! Good! Cam Cufffish, why are you going on about this? Good! Kill! Or I can just use this one. Maybe. Oh, I guess not? There's 2 of them? That's not dramatically confusing. Alright. Stop. Okay. Okay. Let this one go. Good! Kill! Perish for the sake of mine! What's the point of this pole? Frankly, I don't understand. The designer just wanted to put it there. Marina was like, yeah, this one just seems nice. It adds to the aesthetic. Yes, I am serious right now. That was a long fall. Wow, oh my goodness. Alright. Actually, Marina didn't design these, did she? Who's the level designer for all this stuff? I mean, probably out. Don't at me. Don't at me. Don't at me. Just don't look at me. Not only don't at me. Just don't even look at me. Just don't even look at me. There you go. There you go. This is better, right? This is way better. Yeah, there we go. No, I'm liking this one a lot more. I'm liking this one a lot more. I feel like I feel like right now I'll get judged less. There we go. There we go. Oh, and here I am completing the level and having a good time. And, alright. We're back. I just felt like I would get judged less like that, you know? The chat would be less angry at me all the time. There we go. Because then I can just say I failed and you guys won't know how badly I failed. You know, it's just up to your own imagination. Actually, thinking about it like that, probably best to not leave it to your imagination. Don't know what's happening. Don't think, just jump. All right. Oh! I think I understand. Whee! I am dead. Oh, yo, so, I was on a car trip recently with my dude, with my friend. We were listening to, oh, that actually worked. Okay, cool. We were listening to, like, a lot of Splatoon music. Like, mainly Splatoon 1 music. We were bopping the Splatoon 1 jams. And, oh my god, there are so many slappers in there. There's so many good slappers in that. Let's keep going. Rad Ride Station. Oh, is this the one with the cars? I've seen, like, levels with cars, but I haven't encountered any of them. Nasty Majesty is all. Like, we were listening to, like, a lot of the Splatoon 2 ones. Ah, here we go. Let's go, man. Let's go. How do you become a sponsor? Google it, my dude. I don't mean to sound rude, but frankly, YouTube likes to hide the ability. Best way to do it is just Google how to sponsor on your platform of choice. Anyway, I won't dwell on it. Let's go into it. 1-800, are you slapping? Oh, baby, it was a slapper. Don't get me wrong. To the tower. Works on me. And we're off! Thank you, Marina. I wish Marina was always here while I'm playing Power Control. It would get me through the hard times of seeing 3 stingrays come after me while I'm on point. You like... Thank you. I didn't have to finish the sentence. They understood what they needed to do. Again, could you also, like... Please. Please? Look, if we're trying to create an accurate representation of how people play on Snapper Canal, I haven't seen a single Octoling randomly jump out into the void of the waters below. If you guys have ever seen anyone play on this level, you will know 100%. Woo! That was lucky. You will know 100% that people randomly will just end up just jumping into the water. What are you doing? I hate these Octolings. I legitimately just got styled on. Oh, I hate them all. Oh, I hate them all. No! Stop riding the stupid tower! I got Octo flopped! I forgot I could just use the stupid jump thing. Oh, and you're gonna ride it all the way back! Oh, I thank you! Thank you for just returning it to me. I appreciate it, guys. They're so courteous. But I don't play range blaster. It shoots too far. I'm used to the normal blaster radius. Give me that. I'll take that double kill. I'll take that double kill. This is a cold, silent ride from which there is no satisfaction. All the satisfaction has been drained out of me with a couple ZL inputs by a computer. Just another day. Just another day playing competitive. Could you stop? How can you hit me from that far away? What kind of umbrella are you using? Stop! Golden Sight, you got this. Thanks, Pearl. Thanks, dear. I appreciate the appreciation. I'm probably about to get attacked by something. That seems like the something. Here we go. Good job, Coast. Yo, saw you see Coast's little smirk? It didn't work out in the end, clearly. But yo, do you see Coast's little smirk? I'm gonna need art of that smirk. I don't actually need art. I don't need art. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Someone will have to remind me. Because I didn't actually set it up before the stream as I probably should have. I actually compiled all the Kosi art and Karina art that I've seen from both Twitter and on Discord into stop, you trying to be sweet. Into one folder on my computer. And so now I can actually I can showcase a little bit of Kosi art and stuff. Here, let me actually do that real fast. Blah 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 blah. We're not actually in the BRB section, don't worry. Where is it? Fan art. Fan art. Here we go. 1 second. Add directory. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Fan art. Kosi Karina. There we go. Yo, check out all this amazing art. Oh, they're so good. All this art is so good. Thank you guys for sending in a bunch of Kosi and Karina art. And actually, what I'm probably going to do for Kosi. So Kosi has a look right now. She has this little whale vest thing going on. I'll show more later. I don't want to bog down my stream time with that. But what was it? Yeah, she has this little whale sweater, and she has the glasses and the shoes and everything. What I'm going to do is every month I'm going to change her look. Every month she's gonna have a new style, whether that be some sort of post-apocalyptic look, whether it be some sort of Christmas look, whether it be like you know, chilling at home, just reading a book kind of look. Every month is gonna be a new style for Kosi. I'm gonna have fun customizing them. And yeah, if you guys want to draw new you know, new art of the new style in a new pose with a new weapon, go for it, man. I'll promote each and every one that I see on Twitter, or Twitter or Discord. I'll compile them. Ideally, if you make art. By the way, if you guys ever do make art of the series, yo, hit me up with it on Discord, on Art Failboat, because Art Failboat is the place I go for compiling art. I compiled it from Twitter just because, like, I wanted to. I wanted to make sure I got every bit of art. Is Kosi the Octoling's name? Yeah, Kosi spelled with a C. Yes. C-O-S-I. I would appreciate if you... What's happening? Oh, is it just on like a random cycle? Understood. Woo! Go, Alfred, you got him! No! I'm sorry, Alfred. He'll be okay. I have another one. I have many. I have hundreds of Alfreds. That's okay. What is this? Splat Bomb Rush? I'll take another one of those. Wait a minute. Hold on. I was about to say, Can I have endless splat bomb rush? Oh, okay. I wanted to see if I could like link it to have infinite burst bombs. Excuse me. I was trying to be clever. All right. I do like the idea of this level. I think this is cool. Just, you know, like you have to get the lay of the land first, and then you have to run it back. What is this? You gotta find the key. All right. Can do. Well, I found. Okay, so that's the vault. This is that. Can't do that. The key. Oh. This is another surface. Okay. Oh, I see it. Oh, no. I understand. It's not that the cube up there is rotating. It's that it's going away. Gotcha. This is another level in single player where like the cube like constantly rotates and giving you like a new side to paint. Now I understand. All right, here we go. Paint all this up. There we go. Let's go, Kosi. Run circles around them. Don't even kill them. They don't even deserve to be hit by you, Kosi. They don't even deserve to be hit by you. Save that for the 8-ball. 8-ball deserves everything he gets, frankly. There we go. Failboat before. Man, the 8-ball is pretty much like my son. Failboat now. Yeah, the 8-ball can just die. Alright, let's go. Such a strange gameplay mechanic. Oh, I now see what those yellow bits are for. It fell! Ah! PTSD screaming. Let's go. This is probably... What? Oh, it's been returned. Oh, look. It fell. Sweating. There we go. Now we just do this. Oh, it's this shot. Yes! It's this shot. Hey, I remember that from the thing. Cool. I can do that. What else we got going? Go over this way. Oh, hey, looks like we got a raid going on. BSG raid. What's up, everybody? Who's BSG? Big super gamer. Yeah. No, I have no idea. That's so cool. Thanks for the raid, guys. Oh, no, it's a raid. What are you guys talking about? Raids are the spirit of streaming, baby. They're what power streamers. More people need to do raids, in my opinion. Just because YouTube is like, we don't want to make raiding easy, doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. All right. Not a fan of what's happening here. But I can... See, I want to say I can get behind... Alright. It's another day, just another day in the job. Nervous sweating. There we go. Honestly, I was hoping the platform was gonna come back over and I could use it to like get the ball over to the good area. But you know what? I guess that works too. Stop! Woo-wee! I was on the edge of my seat. Oh, were you, Pearl? Thank you, Pearl. Yes. Haha, yes, am I right, gamers? There we go. Okay, cool. Here we go. I still haven't learned who BSG is. No one has said that yet. Yup. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yup. And we continue on with the level. Failboat plays the Octo expansion, but it's just funny noises. Alright. Failboat, you special? Nah. Who are you? I will get them! Do not worry! My sniper skills have been refined through years of combat! Okay, well, bye! Just wait there for about, like, another 270 degrees! I'll be back! Just you wait! What was it? It's Breadstick Gaming. I thank you, Breadstick Gaming. I appreciate it. Alright. Slap it. Bop it. There we go. I love making fun of like the small little guys. What are they? Octarians? Okay, Octolings are of course the playable characters. Octarians are the little tentacle guys, right? Dude, I love making fun of the single Octarian guys. It's very funny for me. Love is awesome. Excuse me. God, oh my God. Love is. I said love is, and then my stomach was like backfiring. Love is. Oh, demon. Like, goodness. Love is awesome and kind. Yeah, of course, of course. I just love making fun of them now. Okay, here we go. Show your stuff and get to the goal. Show your stuff. Show me your moves. Is this Smash Ultimate? There we go. I get it. This is a trick shot level, ain't it? This better be like a complete trick shot level. No, bad. So good. Why? Thank you, Pearl. I love how Pearl has a little microphone next to her. She's adorable. There we go. Oh, right. Oh, I get it. Ahaha. No, I get it, I get it. This level is fun. Yeah! Of course it is, you bamboozler main. Oh, come on! At least there's no timer. In fact, I'll be honest, I'm surprised there's no timer. This seems like the perfect timer level. There we go. My word, your moves remind me of myself in the younger days. Except I also wasn't a girl. Like, that's something that does not remind me. Does not remind you of me. I don't know what I'm saying or how I'm supposed to be saying it, but here we are. Man, this is some about this is bad. Some about this is pretty bad. There we go. Blam. Thanks, Pearl. Dude, what if that was just my commentary? What if my commentary was just like whatever? Oh! Woo! I totally got that on video. Pearl, don't worry, I did too. Oh! Y'all! Y'all catch that flick shot? Y'all catch that flick shot? I'll be riding that high for a while. Oh my God. That was sharp. Mom, get the camera. Get the camera. Woo! Notorious Station. That's what they call me in high school. Nah, they called me nerd. Anyway. What we got? I don't like whatever that was in the background. Oh, it was exactly what I thought it was. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. Get to the goal using curling bombs. Okay, well at least I only need to do this one once. Dead. Oh my waffle shinderu. Alright. What a strange thing. Okay. Don't you have a poster of those in your room? Octo Zeppelins. I like that. I like the reference. There we go. It's a Led Zeppelin reference. Well, look, man. I used to main this sub. This used to be my favorite sub back in the day. Right, I can't fire. By all means, I'm not a stranger to using these. Yo! It's like surfing. I mean, coming from me who's literally never once surfed. Okay. I mean, I guess here we are. Okay, I should probably move in about a second here. There we go. That'll do. But at least from what I've seen online, that looks like about what surfing looks like. Okay. There we go. Simple. Oh, this is just a cute little level. Boop! And? Hey! Well, that's just fun, frankly. Whee! Wait! Y'all ready for next level wholesomeness? She doesn't even smile! looked like she was watching. It looked like she was watching the curling bomb and it just like winds up next to her. Like, what's she looking at? What was she looking at with such intensity? It's like, yes. I hit my right foot. I'm sorry, for some reason I just caught my funny bone. That soulless stare as it very clearly does not hit her target. Oh, hello. You see, a true gamer would have probably have avoided that with their true gamer skills. I just didn't want to move. Whee! Ooh, woo! No look? Oh, let's rock it, baby. Hold on one second. Disappointed side, that MP3. Bum, bum, bode, bum, boop, 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 boop. I hit that. Yep. At least I got the wall. There we go. Use bomb at last. That should be fine. Wait, can the bomb, like, blow them up? I didn't even think about that. Hold on a minute. Oh! Well, that's just nifty. Nemo! Nemo! That's cool. Notorious Station. I really don't think that's what deserves to be called Notorious Station. I did stations where my goal was to shoot a giant exploding ink ball at boxes in a very specific way so that the wooden planks wouldn't detonate in certain specific ways. That wasn't called Notorious Station. The station where I had to beat it, a constant oncoming wave of octolings after octolings after octolings trying to destroy an orb. That wasn't called Notorious Station. This random level in the middle of the map was called Notorious Station. Okay, I'm sure. Fly 8-ball station. Okay, this one sounds more notorious than the last one is all I'm saying. Did someone in chat just literally say, do you know the way? Really? Where are you? Are you okay? Have you been trapped and locked within a basement for the past like year? Free yourself. There are new memes out there. What is this? Oh, this is This is like, I love this game. This is just so creative. This is so cool! That was so cool! Why does that only have to be one game mode? That's so cool! Also, I'm now scared. The entire chat is just screaming outdated memes. Haha, John Cena, am I right? Do. Dog, wow, such meme. Such beetle, wow, such talk. Well, the full says tell an interesting story, doesn't it? I want to read those later. Oh, cool! Got a space shuttle helmet. Neat. Haha, rip Harambe. Press F in chat if Harambe feels bad, man. That hurt to say, I'm sorry. Also, he looked like a bean. I'm turning off chat. It worries me right now, frankly. Vanquish yourself from this wall. And it says positioning is the key. Also, could you please not hit me on the ground? I really do not like that. Also, I fixed the large chat. We now finally have large chat again. That only took like a few years before I fixed that. You know what? In celebration of the return of large chat, let's leave large chat on. Now you can see more of yourselves more frequently, but it's a little bit more distracting, frankly, which is why I stopped using it. That's okay there. One day I'll make. Okay. Look. Give me a second. Let me comprehend this level. Also, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I know this level. This is the level I did a raid on. I did a raid on this level. It was a really fun raid. You guys have a longer range than you do, AJ. Marina, don't remind me of that, please. Look, Marina. No reason to bring that up right now, frankly. Get out of here. Yo, this level is painful. Hold on, wait a minute. Where was that hitting? Okay. Hold up. Hold up. Okay, fine, I'll do the level appropriately. Excuse me for trying to have a big brain. What on earth is the middle of this level? I just saw the middle of this level. Oh my god, are you kidding me? What on earth? Please, please. Well, this is where I die. That's okay, Kosi, that's okay. Oh my god. Okay, so it's a straight up kill all the enemies level. I understand. That was almost death. In fact, it was probably deserving of death. Yeah, here we are. Okay, you know what? I tried to be fancy. Understandable. Understandable. You have failed! Test failed. Whew! Okay, that almost just cost a random life. That really was unnecessary. Please. Please. Y'all want to talk about that? We want to talk about that one? Just do it right. My chat, you tilt me. As much as I love you guys, as much as I love you, chat. Every so often you get me in a bad, you get me wrong. Well, just win. Jeez, Failboat. Why don't you just do the level? I did my level on my negative first try. And I didn't even use my primary weapon. I have proof. Because I took a photo of it on my phone. I promise you it was me, not a YouTube video. There we go. There we go. This is ideally not where I would like to be standing, but yet here we are. And frankly, some things cannot be helped. Yo, okay. The sniper guys are not a problem. I'm gonna just be real fast here. Sniper guys, literally no problem with them. I do not care about them. Nope, you. Whoop! Did not mean to teleport, but yet here we are. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do I have a timer? Do I have a timer? Can I freely do this? He was talking about this face. Like, yo, I'm sorry. He was talking about this face. Look at this face. He's like. Something about that face is just like a soul drained from their body. Alright, where am I going? Probably upwards. Does killing these guys matter? Nope, nope, nope. Die, you, die, you, die, you, die, you. Okay, there we go. Stop. But leaving. Now where? He's dead inside. I have no soul. No. I was about to say, don't you dare. Don't you dare draw me off like that. Okay, here we go. Oh my god. Oh, come on, he turned around. I was trying to be clever. I was trying to be clever. Uses another old, outdated meme. No better than the chat. Where's my last victim, my last foe? All's well that ends well. I understand that, but like, where? I'll scout for him. All Assassin's Creed kill him. Where? In before they're in there, in that box behind me. They're actually in this box, aren't they? Hello? Hello? Chat's mad at me. Why? Where was he? Oh, hey. Everyone in chat is saying I'm blind. Okay. Alright, chat. I'm gonna need you guys to clip something about that. Cause I'm not, that was not even me playing it up. That was not even me playing that up. That was 1,000,000%. I have no idea where that was. Someone please go back to that moment and just record that moment. Just run that back for me. I'm not gonna lie, I really need that. I need to see how stupid I was for a second there. Alright, let's go. Oh, whoops, no! I want the hardest weapon. My mistake. There we go. Let's do it. Excuse me. Cars 2? Hello. Oh! Actual cars! That is the level that I was talking. Why is that voice passively gone into my normal voice? Whoa! I hate when I do that. Oh, we're playing Frog! Oh, this song is delightful. Beep, beep. Open says me. Oh, my goodness. What? Ew, ew. What is that? Ah! Ah! That was like slime I would make from one of those like Nickelodeon kits that my mom would begrudgingly buy me. Yo, real talk. If your mom has ever bought you one of those make your own slime kits, thank your mom today. Don't tell her for what. Don't tell her for what. That'd be too easy. Just thank her for her love. Because my God, I remember those build your own slime kits when I was a kid, and man, those were a little bit nasty. Louder? Chat, don't try me. I ruined the finale episode because I misbalanced my audio. Y'all ain't getting louder. My finale video was almost ruined because I couldn't hear as well as I thought I could. Woo! I got bopped. No. I can't just boost the volume whenever chat demands it. There's a time and a place for it. But not now. Boop! Louder or else? Sure. Go for it. Focus? Have you ever seen me focus once? Okay. That was, wait a minute! Wait a minute! How are we riding cars but not playing this song? Hold on. I should probably wait till I start to actually turn. Here we go. Yes! Yes! Hit the drifts! Yes! Okay, enough of that. Enough of that. I'll get copyright stricken if that happens. There we go. This is the lowest quality stream you've ever witnessed. Taylor, you know that's a lie. You know that's a lie, Taylor. You know how far I've gone into the bin. Here we go. So something tells me I need to be hopping on those. Oh, okay. Stop! 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 I said please! Did I say please? I could have. Okay. We're going a little bit too slow. We gotta go faster. The goal is not to kill them. Remind yourself of that, Daniel. Oh my God. The goal is not to kill them. The goal is to get to the middle. Deja-vu. So, you know what? Yo, wait, there's armor? Oh my God, I'm so good with the blaster. Stop. I hate this. I hate this. I hate you. I hate you. I really hate you. Oh! Next step. Okay. This is what's gonna happen. I'm focusing now. I hate you. Stop having such good aim! Move to the other cars? Yes. I know, I'm working on it. Boy, I'm so glad they patched GTA with this new graphics engine. Nope. Yes! Yes! Oh, now it's just free. Well, actually. Now I just gotta make my jumps. Haha. That won't be difficult. What is this? What? Are we really playing Flappy Bird? We really playing Flappy Bird right now. Oh, it's awkward. Well. Are we really playing Flappy Bird right now? All the way back, huh? That we're just like, hey, how about we just straight up build Flappy Bird in Splatoon? What do we have? A nice, fun, Nintendo-based shooter. Wow. Okay, sorry, my brain was just sort of having an overload from just everything that was happening. Okay. Jeez. That was more than I expected to take in. That was way more than expected. Alright. God. Well, let's do one more for right now. Let's do one more level before we close out this segment of the stream today. Let's do this one. Cubular Station. Let's do this one. All right. Because this one has like a thing I can get. Hello. Welcome. Take the medal as a token of our appreciation for visiting so many stations. These medals can be exchanged for items at Deep Sea Metro Central Station. Thank you. Cool. I already got all the other ones, so I wanted to get this one. Let's do it. Collect all 8 data points. Ooh. Ooh. This is complicated. Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay. Sorry. There was just a lot to take in real fast. What's this music? Oh, not that. Hi. Okay. This is a level. Ah! Okay. Oh. My mother would puke. My mother used to tell me all the time how Super Mario Galaxy would like make her stomach curl. Man, if she saw this level. I made that jump. Okay, that's glass, but that isn't. But nor is this. Wow, this is a mental struggle. Okay. I knew I should have taken more math classes in my time at college. You know what I appreciate? I think they're low-key trying to get at is that all these enemies signify what room you've last been in. Because otherwise, like, you wouldn't have taken out an enemy without getting the thing within the room. Alright. That part's pretty simple. Get up here. This part ain't bad. I can't paint that wall, probably. Can I get a paint? Up. I'm so sorry, Kosi. God, I'm going to hurl! Mr. Nogami! Who designed this? Who on Nintendo is responsible for this? I know that wasn't the way to do that, but I did make that happen. My mind is woomy. Okay. Sorry I'm being, like, dead quiet. There's a lot going through my brain right now, frankly. What? Oh. In places I can't even reach. Good stuff. Alright, where are my last two? They're certainly around. Aha! That's one of them. Okay. Break into this place. One more! Found it. Hacking into the base here. Let's go. Okay. This one doesn't seem that hard. Hold on. Spin to win real fast here. There we go. Oh, I can feel something happening in my brain right now. Oh, and it doesn't feel good. Ah! Yeah? Wait, this one's free. Never mind! Never mind! By free, I mean very expensive. Other way, please. Yo, what if I got that kill? Hold on. Wait, never mind. It's actually incredibly easy now. Woo! Okay, well, thank you. That's enough for the Splatoon segment. We're gonna be moving on to Mario Odyssey right now after I finish just hurling in the toilet for a little bit. Oh my goodness. Hello. Oh. That level hurts on a cosmic sense. I think, by the way, I now have access to every level in the game. There's not a single level that's hidden from me anymore. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We only have 11 more levels to go before a secret final boss appears. But thank you all for watching. Oh my god, I feel bad about this. Tune next time for whatever I feel like doing. Oh right, no. I do want to use the meme medals real fast here. The meme medals. There we go. Use those up real fast. We'll be back in about 3 to 5 minutes for some Super Mario Odyssey. First, I just gotta, you know, slowly make my way down over here. This colorful thing. There we go. Whoa! Whoa! God, that's a heck of a payout. Mood. Oh my goodness, that's an extremely useful payout, frankly. Can I take this weapon? I'd use this. Okay. Well, hey, that's enough from me. Thank you all for watching. We're going to go and jump on over for some... Wait, that wasn't scripted? Wait, that wasn't scripted? I thought that might have been scripted because that was, like, the last medal. So I just figured that was, like what you got from the last medal. Huh. Well, how about that? Thank you all for watching. We'll be back in about 3 to 5 minutes with some Super Mario Odyssey. Don't go anywhere. Whoopoo! I wanted to press plus, but plus didn't activate it. Just anyway. Oh, hold on. There we go. Bam. Yo, but check out all this amazing art that I've been seeing. Oh, it's so good. You guys are great artists. There we go. Kosi and Karina. How you guys feeling in chat? You guys ready for some Super Mario Odyssey? Super Mario Odyssey. Not World. How many of you guys have been watching SGDQ? Games Done Quick. Summer Games Done Quick. I'm sorry, someone donated $2 earlier. From Sherlock Holmes. FBI, open up. Cool. Also, it looks like there's now a way for me to see when sponsors happened. Sponsors and other things. Like super chats and stuff. That's so cool. Oh. Alright. We'll back in like, oh no, I didn't press the stop streaming button.